नजर मेरी के इधर ही है. तो जस्ट लाइक दैट, यू नो, ध्यान कहीं और है लेकिन नजर कहीं और होती है. ये सो सेक्शन 3 क्वेश्चंस 21 to 30. अब जरा एक्टिव होना है. अब पहले छोटी छोटी बिल्लियां आई हैं, अब शेर आएगा, ठीक है, हाथी आएगा, गेंडा आएगा एंड ऑल दैट. So section 3 questions 21 and 22. Complete the notes below. Write one word and or a number. Now you should be careful, okay? One word and or a number. भाई मोबाइल को छोड़ दें बेटे, तवज्जो करो, जो काम कर रहे हैं उस पर तवज्जो करो. उसको कहो I am मस्जिद जानू. You remember that? Remember that dialogue of famous comedian priest? He says, Janu, I am masjid. Okay? So you send a message, I am class. हाँ? अच्छा अच्छा, कोई बात नहीं, ठीक है. All right, ocean research. One word and or a number. And ocean research. Ocean means samundar, right? Samundar. And research means samundar pe research. Exactly. Robotic float project. What is the name of the project? Robotic float project. Okay. Float is shaped like a. आप सारे सुन लें, आसान करने लगा हूं. Shaped like a को underline कर लें. Shaped like a की जगह पे क्या वर्ड आ सकता है? Resembles like a, looks like a, or any other word like that. अब ऑडियो में they are going to speak look a bit like a, and whatever they say after look a bit like a, that will be your answer. अब सिर्फ सुनना क्या है? Look a bit like a, and after that there will be your answer. And by the way, a is article. A is going to help you. Answer will come after a. So 21.
Section 3. You will hear part of a seminar on ocean research given by a climate scientist.
Thanks to all of you for coming along today to hear about how the robotic float project is helping with ocean research. Well, first of all, we'll look at what a robotic float does and its use. So let's start with the device itself. It looks a bit like a cigar and it's about 1.5 meters long.
It looks like a cigar. Very good. It looks a bit like a cigar. So how do you spell cigar? Cigar पता है क्या होता है? इधर भी. Cigar. C-I. कौन कह रहा है? S-I-G-A-R. C-I-G-A-R. Cigar. Okay. So the answer is cigar. Question number 22. Scientists from dash. Scientist from means location of scientist, nationality of scientist, or the place they belong to. Scientist is plural word. So, for example, scientists from China, scientists from America, scientists from all over the world. And how many words are you going to write? One word and or a number. Okay, so let's see what do they say. Have worked on the project so far. So you just need to see the origin of scientists, right? Simple.
More importantly, it's full of equipment that's designed to collect data. So it can help us in building up a profile of different factors which work together within the world's oceans.
Sounds like a big project. Isn't it too big for one country to undertake?
That's quite true, but this project is a really good example of international cooperation. Over the last 5 years, scientists from 13 countries have been taking part in the project and launching floats in their area of ocean control. And next year, this number will rise to 14 when Indonesia joins the project.
Scientists
That's impressive.
from 13 countries. Okay, next year the number will reach 14. 14 is not the answer. 13. Got it? I play it again. Scientists from 13 countries. Okay. See, it's written one word and or a number. 13 is a number. Countries is a word. Okay, so 13 countries. Okay, listen please.
More importantly, it's full of equipment that's designed to collect data. So it can help us in building up a profile of different factors which work together within the world's oceans.
Sounds like a big project. Isn't it too big for one country to undertake?
That's quite true, but this project is a really good example of international cooperation. Over the last 5 years, scientists from 13 countries have been taking part in...
Scientists from 13 countries have been taking part. Have been taking part. Which tense is it? Present perfect continuous. Listening से सीख लें सारा कुछ. Alright, now we come to this diagram. Horrible? Listen, we are not even going to look at the diagram. What's the title? Complete the diagram below. Write one word and or a number. So again we have one word and or a number. Okay, one word and or a number. Yasin, questions are not visible. Thoda chota kare diagram. Okay. The operational cycle. I'm actually recording the class and I will send you this class recording as well. ये पूरी जो class अभी चल रही है ये एक अलग मीडियम इस पे भी हो रही है, इस पे भी record हो रही है. I'll send you this recording. It's gonna be very good. Operational cycle. So, just come to question number 23. You don't need to understand everything. Just come to question number 23. Float dropped into ocean. Have you ever seen floats in the ocean? Like कुछ चीजें पानी में तैर रही होती हैं. स्विमिंग पूल में भी कुछ लगाया होता है, रस्सी के साथ तैर रहा होता है पानी में. फ्लोट ड्रॉप्ड इनटू द ओशन एंड डैश बाय सैटेलाइट. नाउ समथिंग हैपेंस टू द स्पोर्ट टू द फ्लोट एक्चुअली and then it is and dash by satellite. So float dropped into the ocean, floats are dropped, उसको गिरा दिया जाता है, and then dash by satellite. It can be kept, it can be controlled by satellite. So the answer is going to be ED form. Controlled by satellite, captured by satellite, or driven by satellite. Connected by satellite. Alright, that's good, very close. So please now listen.
But let's move on to how floats work. The operational cycle goes like this. Each of the floats is dropped in the ocean from a boat at a set point and activated from a satellite.
Activated from a satellite. Now for by they used from. अब पल्ले बांध ले in listening whenever they use the word by satellite, by something, they can use from for that, okay? Question number 24. Average distance traveled. Very simple. Answer is going to be distance. And distance is measured either in kilometers or miles or meters. So answer will contain a number and a word. It's going to be the distance. For example, 400 kilometers. For example, 500 miles. For example, 1000 meters. Right? So let's see. What is that? And the average distance traveled. Underline the word traveled. For traveled, they might use the word covered. Right? And average distance. Now, they might tell you minimum distance, maximum distance, but you are going to focus average distance of that, right? Question number 24.
Then the float immediately sinks about 2,000 meters. That's 2 whole kilometers down in the water. It stays at this depth for about 10 days and is carried around by the currents which operate in the ocean at this level. During this time, it's possible for it to cover quite large distances, but the average is 50 kilometers.
See that? Quite a large distances, but the average is 50. So when you know what to listen for, what you are waiting for, you will find the answer. 50 kilometers. Kilometers now, important point. Kilometers can be written in abbreviation, km. Right? Because these are international abbreviations. So, yeah, kg can be written kilogram, exactly. So you can write the units in like that. So 50 km or 50 kilometers, both ways it's right. But if you write only 50, that will be the wrong answer, okay? Alright, question number 25. Float records changes in salinity. Now the word salinity is important, and even if you don't know the meaning of salinity, don't worry. It is something which is in the ocean. Yes, something like salt and all that. So, a float records changes in salinity and dash. Float records two things. One is salinity in the ocean. Second is another thing. Now, what is that second thing? That will be the answer. Okay, listen.
So, what is it actually recording?
Well, at this stage, nothing. But as it rises to the surface, it collects all sorts of data. Most importantly, variations in salinity, that's salt levels, and the changes in temperature, a bit like underwater weather balloons.
And the changes in temperature, well done. I play it again, temperature, salinity, and then he used the word changes in temperature. Changes is already given.
So, what is it actually recording?
Well, at this stage, nothing. But as it rises to the surface, it collects all sorts of data. Most importantly, variations in salinity, that's salt levels, and the changes in temperature. A bit like underwater weather balloons.
Salt level, salinity means salt level as you mentioned, and then temperature. Okay? गुस्से से क्यों देख रहे हैं मुझे? सर लिसनिंग करा रहे हैं, मुझे गुस्सा, रीडिंग पे बड़ा गुस्सा आता है. आप लोग तो शरीफ बच्चे, जब मैं टेस्ट सॉल्व करता हूँ ना घर में रीडिंग का, जब मुश्किल क्वेश्चन आता है, दाएं बाएं ढूंढना है, फ्रस्ट्रेशन होती है, फिर जब आंसर मिल जाता है, फिर मैं गुस्सा निकालना होता है ना एक आपने, कि मतलब कितना मुश्किल कॉम्प्लिकेटेड चीजों को किया होता है. All right, let's go on. Questions 26 to 30. Now, this is what we call matching. Okay, you got to match ABC with 26 to 30. Right? Let's actually crack it. In what time period can data from the float projects help with the following things? What time period? A, B, C, they are time periods. Please come to A, at present. For present, they will use present tense. For present, they will use present continuous tense in the audio. It's not Ielts speaking, okay? Yeah, in the audio, they will use present simple, present continuous. For example, we are already receiving. We are already getting, right? So, for at present, they might use anything. B, in the near future. For near future, they might use the word soon. We are going to receive data from there. Or for near future, they use the word we are going to soon, or it will happen within few days. It's going to be done in a short time period. That means it will happen soon. Okay? And option C, in the long term future, after 10 years, in the long run, in the long time, after 20 years, after 5 years. Okay? Now, question number 26, understanding of El Nino. If you don't know what is El Nino, you are not concerned. Niño is a child in Spanish language. Yo hablo español también. I speak Spanish also. So, Niño is child. Niño pequeño. Nika jina bacha. Pequeño means small. Niño pequeño. Yeah? So, I remember मैंने जब Spanish सीखी थी ना, उसमें character था Pedro. Pedro कहते हैं Peter को. So, Pedro no es el niño pequeño. Pedro es un adulto. Una persona adulta. मतलब बड़ा बंदा बन गया, बच्चा नहीं है, बड़ा हो गया. तो मुझे वो लेसन अभी भी याद है. ये लैंग्वेजेस सीखना बड़ा मजा आता है. अच्छा जी, अंडरस्टैंडिंग ऑफ एल नीनियो. नाउ अंडरस्टैंडिंग, आर दे अंडरस्टैंडिंग एल नीनियो एट प्रेजेंट, or they are going to understand it in the near future, or that is going to be done in the long run. अब ये फोकस करना है, ठीक है? क्वेश्चन नंबर 26.
You say you're building models of the world's ocean systems, but how are they going to be used? And more importantly, when?
Some of the data has already helped in completing projects. For example, our understanding of the underlying causes of El Nino events is being confirmed by float data.
Is being confirmed by float data. अब बताएं क्या है? A is being confirmed. Confirm किया जा रहा है. मैंने बोला था present continuous. So the answer is A. ठीक है, सबको समझ आ गया? Being confirmed. Right. I play it again.
You say you're building models of the world's ocean systems, but how are they going to be used? And more importantly, when?
Some of the data has already helped in completing projects. For example, our understanding of the underlying causes of El Nino events is being confirmed by float data.
Okay? Being confirmed. Like, if you try to see these difficult words, if you're going to overpower yourself with a feeling that I don't know El Nino, what is El Nino, just you have to see present, past or future, right? Not past, present, near future and long-term future. Okay, understanding of climate change. Now, again you understand climate change and what do they say about it?
Another way we're using float data is to help us to understand the mechanics of climate change, like global warming and ozone depletion. That's part of an ongoing variability study, but the results are still a long way off.
The results are still long way off. माशाल्लाह, जब समझ आती कितनी खुशी होती है. और मुझे खुशी होती है जो मैंने समझाया आपको समझ आ गया. या कुछ लोग पता क्या होता है, आंसर के बाद ऐसे देखते हैं, मुझे देखते हैं खुशी से. कुछ लोग आंसर के बाद देखते हैं तो क्या लिखे. Okay, so बॉडी लैंग्वेज यहाँ से बड़ी अच्छी नजर आती है. कभी आके देखिएगा, हर कोई नजर आ रहा है, हर एक के चेहरे के तासुरात मास्क से थोड़ा छुप जाते हैं, वरना पता चल जाता है. ये exactly. So C is the right answer for that. 28. Naval rescues, like navy and naval.
However, this is not the case with our ocean weather forecasting. Because we know from the floats what the prevailing weather conditions will be in certain parts of the ocean, we can advise the Navy on search and rescue missions. That's happening right now, and many yachtsmen owe their lives to the success of this project.
That's happening right now. Option A. That's happening right now. Yeah, then if you want to relax, you say, Chadi aisi di tesi. I understand now. Yeah, that's happening right now. You know, एक बच्चा था ना, उसने IELTS listening part 1 देख लिया. Part 1 only, first question. IELTS किसी ने पूछा, what is IELTS? Very simple. ABC बोलणगे तुसी लिखनी. मोबाइल नंबर बोलणगे तुसी लिखना है. IELTS test 8 मिनट ਐਵੇਂ ਹੀ ਆ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਨੇ. He's never seen part 2, part 3, part 4. Okay? Yeah. So sometimes you think it's so simple. Let's go on. Question number 29. Sustainable fishing practices. Now let's see, are they at present they are doing it, or near future, or long term future?
In addition, the float data can help us to look at the biological implications of ocean processes.
Would that help with preserving fish stocks?
Yes, and advising governments on fisheries legislation. We're well on the way to completing a project on this. We hope it will help to bring about more sustainable fishing practices. We'll be seeing the results of that quite soon.
We are well on our way completing a project on this. Well on our way means about to complete a project. इस पे focus करें, we are well on our way. I play it again.
In addition, the float data can help us to look at the biological implications of ocean processes.
Would that help with preserving fish stocks?
Yes, and advising governments on fisheries legislation. We're well on the way to completing a project on...
We are well on our way to completing a project. We are well on our way to completing a project means we are about to complete a project. That is in the near future, option B. And one option can be repeated here several times, no problem. Okay, crop selection. Crop means agriculture. Right? Now they will use the word agriculture.
It sounds like the data from floats has lots of applications.
Yes, it does. It's also a powerful agricultural tool. If we were aware of what the weather would be like, say, next year, we could make sure that the farmers planted appropriate grain varieties to produce the best yield from the available rainfall.
That sounds a bit like science fiction, especially when now we can't even tell them when a drought will break.
I agree that this concept is still a long way in the future, but it will come eventually, and the float data will have made a contribution.
बच्चा next year से ना एकदम आ गया ये. Long way in the future. That is option C, long term future. So always, whenever you do IELTS listening, focus the language of the audio and the language of question booklet. Match it with every question. If you learn one word and the synonyms, and then after solving 8 to 10 tests, these things are repeated actually, right? All right, thank you.